Hello, welcome. My name is Marwa from Al Ghurair University, and I'm presenting my research paper, which is Process of an Architectural Concept Generation, the Revival of a Historical Building, a case study of Jaffna Castle. So this paper is going to present a process and an approach of how to develop a design concept by examining different influences, and it was based on a thesis project of upcycling an ancient castle. In this presentation, we will introduce the case study and the influences that will affect forming the case concept and then to conclude. So briefly, the project location is in Jafna, which is an old Palestinian village located in Ramallah that it dates back to the Bronze Age and it got its importance through different eras. Al Burj, which is the selected castle that belongs to the Crusader era, it is located in the historic center of Jafna. The main objective was to preserve, maintain, celebrate the value of the castle while accommodating the existing need. The research started by looking for different influences that will help in forming the concept, and there were four main influences: historical, geographical, spiritual, and incidental. A project begins with understanding the story of the building through studying its history, context, culture, and neighborhood. Studying from a larger scale, which is Jaffna, we can see how it went through different ages and eras until Jaffna got its importance nowadays as a touristic site. So it was as an administrative seat, a military base. The Romans chose it to build castles, towers because of its strategic location. It has an old Roman road. It was mentioned in the Byzantine mosaic map. It was destroyed 7 times through the history, and all the importance of these periods was shown from different landmarks that are still present in the village, different remains, old churches, basilicas, and one of the great example is Jifna Spring that shows that the village was destroyed where it was originally 3 steps up to reach it. However, nowadays it's 27 steps down. Then studying the building context and the building itself, where it is located in the historic center where all the historical buildings, traditional fabric is present. It was built as ahwash. Hosh is a semi-public common space surrounded by a group of buildings used as a passage to private homes. And was one of the reasons to choose the castle. The nature of the space that make up the building consists of two hoshes, Hosh Dar al Abyad, Hosh and Hosh Dar Kamil, to be as a single building, consists of 3 floors, which is different from the rest. Also, its historical significance and age, which dates back to different eras, Crusader, Ottoman, Byzantine, and it was preserved in 2000. However, the project failed. So this is another reason to design a successful preservation project. It was indicated that it served as a farm and a hostel and the function have been changed through different eras, and it have been as a residence for Jifna people. And these are some of the elements that indicates different eras. So for example, we have the Crusader main entrance, the Ottoman main wall, an old olive press, and so on. Secondly is the geographical location. Some can be inspired by the unique cultural heritage of the region to tell the story of a place through its built environment. For Jaffna, it is located on top of a hill 650 meters above sea level, overlooks a green valley. It is situated to the west of the main road from Jerusalem to Nablus, which is the ancient Roman road. Different aspects from an urban scale have been studied: the age of the surrounding buildings, their functions, the accessibility to the site, any opportunity for the site aspect that would help in the design. And here we can see that there is an opportunity for an horizontal expansion. The third influence is the spiritual influence, and here art was used to enhance the architectural concept to give it a spiritual aspect that will provide a deep meaning that would touch the human soul. Because the site is near a settlement, the theme of resistance and protection were taken. Three art pieces by Palestinian artists that represent resistance were analyzed, and from these pieces we can adapt the story, the emotions, the feelings, the symbols that can be present and implemented in an architectural design that people will experience and get the emotions and the feelings behind them. The fourth influence is the incidental influence, and another art piece were analyzed under the resistance theme by Bashir Sinwar, which is Sabra and Shatila painting, which represent a war in Lebanon, where thousands of Lebanese and Palestinians were killed. It was analyzed from different aspects: the content, the hidden meaning behind it, the use of colors, the characteristics of it, how it was realistic while looking at it, the experience, the emotional sense, the dramatical dimension from the painting. And from that, it can be adapted how the narrated story were integrated with different aspects and elements to show that realistic story with colors, with use of materials, with the function which expressing the Palestinian case. So that can be adapted in the concept generation. The concept started to be formed after the analysis of the four main influences, and the idea was to develop a journey through the spaces to create a narrative story of Jaffna history, to give it and to give the value and the historical significance of the castle and to be a symbol of resistance. And the proposed function was an exhibition in the castle to focus on the valuable elements and to narrate the building history, as well as designing an extension for a hotel to serve the main idea, which is celebrating the history, and also to develop the economical situation and to provide a place for tourists to stay in the village and explore the historical landmarks. This is the proposed site plan, and there are four main components. The first one is the memorial path, which was inspired from Jaffna's history, using different arches, type of arches that will represent each era until reaching the castle, which is the Crusader era. Then the second part, which is the connection between the castle and the hotel, to be designed as a one unit divided by a public space in between, taking from the Hosh aspect, and each will represent the living aspect. The castle will be the ancient living, the plaza will be pre and post occupation living, and the hotel will be the current situation and people's resistance. The third part is the plaza, and from the artwork taking or using the kufiyya pattern to be regular in the pre-war zone, however irregular, and using gravel and demolished bricks to show a demolished area, however living can be continued. The last part is the journey on the hotel, which is based on all the landmarks that are in Jaffna, connecting lines or using the main line that connected with the castle to create ramps. And from that, these zones were created and the volumes were created on different levels, and using topography for that to create different views from different sides. However, the main important aspect is the main connection between Al Burj and the hotel, that it's always going to be visually connected from all sides of the hotel. In conclusion, the result of this study is aiming at generating and developing concept taking into account a variety of influences. Each influence has affected the design's decision while forming the concept. History affected the function, the journey, the material. Geography affected the circulation, the views, the space planning. The incident and the spirit of the artwork affected the patterns used, the physical space design with the emotion that would be experienced, using element to symbolize a meaning, and the use of materials. So this is a prototype to a multi-directional approach to design concept. And thank you.